Hello, welcome. I would like to mention a couple of things that are of interest to people who follow me and follow my YouTube videos and my radio program. I've been around for over 30 years now. And what I've done is I've gone on the radio to bring a message. And my message has aired mostly on Christian stations, but also on some secular stations. Has been on the air all over the country, and for a while on shortwave over Europe and North Africa, but mainly United States and also in Canada for a while. All over the country. And it's been interesting because I don't have a lot of money. And my program is not like, like the latest super star entertainer who puts on a show at a stadium and you get thousands of people lined up. It's not like that. And why isn't so? So it's been interesting that I've been able to be on the air so long with the help of some very nice people at the radio stations. Now, how about my message? What is it? Well, my message is that most people are missing the boat. They are off track, off target. Something's not quite right. Something is not quite right. Now, sometimes something's really, really wrong. If you wake up in North Korea or you're in a political prison somewhere, or if you get a big wake-up call with some catastrophic disease or something, well, then it's obvious something's not right. But most people go through their life and, they go to school, they get a job, they get married, they have kids, they have recreation. Something's not quite right. But that little thing that's not quite right, has a cumulative effect so that at the end of the day, you die. And you don't find the reason for your existence. And you don't find the kingdom of God. So, what's that all about? Well, what is this little thing? It's a combination of a wrong attitude, and a wrong allegiance. Now, most of us, so what is the wrong attitude? Well, it's inherited. It's the attitude of ego, wanting to advance oneself instead of advancing what is right. And that mindset, if you will, leads to avoidance of God. See, because God's light reveals everything. In His light, you see your own wrong, your own selfishness, your own deceitfulness, your own lack of courage. See, to advance what you think of as your own agenda. See, but it's not yours agenda. You think it's yours. You think you're advancing your self-interest, but you're actually being misled by wrong authorities who promise basically that you can get ahead and get all you want out of life without God. That's what they promise. But then there are some who claim to represent God, but they really don't. And they have their form of ambition. If you give a lot of money to the church and you read the Bible every day, and then, see what I mean? So they're also encouraging you to be ambitious, just in a different way. So idea of advancing yourself to the exclusion of what's right is the result of this ego. The ego that wants to be God and avoids God because of that. See, the ego wants to play God. So how can you play God when you're aware of God? You can't. And how can other people buy into your playing God and lording it over them? Whether you're a parent or a teacher or a doctor or a minister or a politician, whatever you are, a bureaucrat, you lord it over other people because of their powerlessness and because they don't see what you're up to and because they have a false allegiance to you because they think that somehow you can help them advance their own agenda. Or at least they fear that you might interfere with what they think of as their agenda. So the whole world is walking around on eggshells, afraid of something, afraid of upsetting the apple cart and offending the powers that be, and then not getting their perks. See? And ultimately, the ego is a beggar. See, without God, how are you going to get anywhere? Without Him. All you can do is dig yourself into a deeper and deeper hole, afraid of facing His truth, which is conscience. And His truth is all searching. It reveals every little fault. And that's the last thing that the confirmed egotist wants, is to have every little thing exposed. They fear being exposed because then they lose power. Their power comes through deception and through following some goals that somebody else set for them. So what I want you to see is that there's the antidote to that and to the wrong allegiance. There is an antidote to it. And it is to find allegiance to what is right. Make it more important than what you think of as your own agenda. I'm live on the air now. I just heard it in my earphones. I'm live on the air, Blogtalk Radio. It's 8 o'clock. Usually my program is 8:30 to 9:30 every day. Today I'm starting at 8. I want to bring you a message. I've been already talking about a wrong attitude, a selfish attitude. And we all know that when we're selfish, there's no love in it. We know that, don't we? We know that there's no love in it. But how do you find love? Well, God is love. You heard that in the Bible, didn't you? And Jesus, He told us to love one another. He said, love your enemies. He said the whole basis of the law is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. He said upon that is the law based. So everything is based upon this love. So if you want to rewrite your life, realign it, and not be misled, and find out your purpose for existence, then you have to find this love. Now let us see what this love is all about. And one way of doing it is to look at the Aramaic language, the language that Jesus spoke, and see what word He used when He talked about love. If we can understand what was in the Aramaic mind and what Christ was talking about when He said love, then maybe it'll help you to see what love is, and that you don't have it, and that you need to find it, and that you can find it. So what I would like to do is to read to you something from a book. It's called the Khabouris Manuscript, Selected Passages from the Khabouris Manuscript. This was an ancient Syriac New Testament that was scribed in Aramaic. So it was a New Testament written in Aramaic, the language that Jesus spoke. And the Yonan Codex Foundation very carefully translated from the Aramaic to English with an effort to grasp what was in the Aramaic mind, what the Aramaic word and the Aramaic worldview, what it meant when Christ used certain words and when the apostles used certain words. So I want to read to you now from the introduction or the preface to this work written by Mr. McDougall with the Yonan Codex Foundation. He writes, another unique symbol in Aramaic is Kuba. It's spelled in English Khooba. In Aramaic, it's a symbol. Kuba. The love we are told to have for our enemies. Remember? Christ told us to love our enemies. He used the word Kuba. So that's the word, love. The concept to be cued by Kuba did not exist in Western thought until psychological advances uncovered the controlling force of a set of mind. This love is an attitude, a mindset, which includes the desire for unconditional affection for the other, and the cue control set which causes what is good about the other to be perceived, causes that which is fair and just in the circumstances to come to mind, and causes perception of the wholesome desires and objectives of the other. So love is a mindset. I'm ad-libbing now. Love is a mindset. And when you have this mindset, then what is cued, or what follows from, or what is an extension of this mindset is perceiving rightly the good in another, what justice is, or what injustice is, and the perceiving and wanting the best for the other person. Being only a mindset or attitude, Kuba does not include reasoning, judgment, or action, only the controlling sets which, if sufficiently maintained, fill the memory with wholesome information and ultimately produce the unconditional love for neighbor and God, upon which all law hangs. Well, Christ said that all law hangs upon loving God with all your mind, soul, strength, and heart, and loving your neighbor as yourself. Now, let's continue. I'm reading. It is helpful to distinguish the love designated by Kuba, which is the mindset of love, from the love indicated by the word Rahma. Rahma is the love for God and man upon which all law hangs. It is the love for others which produces being loved. While it evolves from Kuba and cannot be developed without Kuba, mindset love, the love represented by Rahma includes reason, thoughts, judgment, and behavior. So from a mindset of love, then flow loving thoughts, judgments, and behaviors. If one is successful in maintaining Kuba for all men, Rahma, the unconditional love for all others, will develop. With Kuba, the unique fact, Will Rogers never met a man he did not like, ceases to be unique and becomes a natural result of it that anyone can reach. So this is very important. There was a man in the United States who was a pundit he was a commentator, and he was very popular. He was witty and fun, but also incisive. And one time, Will Rogers said, I never met a man I didn't like. In other words, he met everyone with an attitude of friendly neutrality. See? He didn't have a prejudice or a preconceived judgment against anyone. And it is also something like what I once heard when I was in high school. I heard a definition of love, and it was that love is the appreciation of the good qualities in another. Love is the appreciation of the good qualities in another. So you see, if you have that attitude, where you see that the person, your wife, your husband, your child, your neighbor, is created in the image and likeness of God. You see that. And you see that they have good qualities, and you appreciate them. See? You don't want anything from them. It's like the love. It's like a disinterested love. You don't want anything from them. You don't want to do anything to them. You see that they're a child of God, creature of God, made in His image and likeness, and you appreciate what good you see, and you don't look for the bad. Do you see how? What is it that they say that people see what they want to see or hear what they want to see? Do you see that if you don't have kuba, if you have a mindset of selfishness or what's in it for me, or distrust, or anger, or a mindset that has an emotional base in resentment, then you're not going to see the good. You're only going to see other people's little faults, mistakes, little faux pas, and you're going to judge them. See that? So then your judgments are wrong. Your attitude, see, it all hinges on the attitude. I want to continue reading here. Under ancient Aramaic understanding, the mindset kuba produces a particular judgment regarding another. Under modern understanding, it appears to do so by controlling present perception and stocking memory. On the issue of how should I feel towards this person, kuba produces rahma, unconditional love. On the question of how should I treat this person, kuba produces the answer of kanuta, justly. We should treat them justly and fairly. In response to the question of how do I work with this person, kuba produces the answer of humility. Cooperate with his good and wholesome desires and objectives. So this is very important, very important. You see? Now, here's another interesting thing. It says, with an attention directed toward God, as it is in prayer, kuba produces a love of truth and a home in the Spirit. Thus, the mindset kuba, continuously maintained for neighbor and for God, may be considered to produce the admirable qualities of human personality related in the first 5 Beatitudes. That's right. That is right. So I want to focus for just one more moment here on what it says. It says, with the attention directed toward God, as it is in prayer, kuba produces a love of truth and a home in the Spirit. All right. With the attention directed toward God. So, one thing that I have noticed is that often when you see paintings of saints. You see them, perhaps in prayer, with their eyes uplifted. And there's a famous depiction of Christ also in prayer with his eyes lifted. He lifted up his eyes. With the eyes uplifted, looking unto God. In other words, when another person comes with some issue and you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do, you want to do the right thing. See, that's the kuba. Your mindset is you want to do the right thing, but you don't know what the right thing is. That's the humility that they were speaking of here. You don't know. You want to know, but you don't know. You inquire of God. Silently, the soul gazes and inquires of God. And he answers. See, it's wordless. You inquire of God. And then something comes to you, something to say. Maybe nothing needs to be said. Then you don't say anything. But it comes because of this pure kuba, this mindset of wanting to do the right thing, but not knowing what the right thing is. And it's beautiful. And so that is, I think the body language of the saints gives it away, doesn't it? They're gazing upward. So the next time your child or your partner presents some issue, instead of rushing to judgment, instead of reaching down and trying to dig up something from your brain that you heard or read or memorized, instead of listening to that voice that down there, that very clever, that creatively, cruelly clever voice. See, it's charged with supporting your ego, your pride. Instead, just stand there and realize that you don't know what to say. You don't know what the right thing to do is. You want to do the right thing, but you don't know what it is. And you quietly inquire of God. And he answers. Something will come. And if nothing comes, then nothing is what you're supposed to do. And doing nothing is a lot better than saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. Because even if with a selfish mindset, wanting to prove something, wanting to show people, wanting to impress people, wanting to demonstrate your knowledge, or impatiently wanting to get rid of them, to get it over with, to get back to whatever you were doing, whatever it is, doesn't have love in it. And they see that. So you may give them a technically correct answer, but they see that it doesn't have love in it. People sense that. And when they sense that, it ruins it. And it tempts them to resent you. So I think I'm going to stop now with this little talk about the mindset of love. And I encourage you to maybe check out the little meditation that I have that helps you to get, see, if anything that's supportive of your ego, this selfish life, this fallen life, this resentful life, this angry life, this misguided life, it's not really your life. Whatever supports it comes from below. Emotions support it, anger, rage, and also ideas that come from below and from outside. They support your ego. They support this false life, this pride. So what you need to do is just to stand back from that. Calm down. Stand back from the emotion. your soul can stand back. You can take a mental step back. And from below, maybe some notions are coming up. Just watch them. And wait until you wordlessly know what to do. You'll just know. You'll know whether to turn right or left, or whether to say yes or no. It'll come to you. And if nothing comes to you, then just wait. Wait upon God. If you don't know what to do, then just wait. Wait upon Him. But this idea of, like the saints, you see them with their eyes uplifted. The meditation, that's a depiction of it. And they probably actually physically did have their eyes uplifted, and do. But you accomplish the same thing by closing your eyes and looking at the little pixels of light on the inside of your eyelids. It's basically the same thing as looking at the inside of your forehead. And you become aware of your hands until they tingle a little bit, or aware of your hand until it tingles a little bit. And then as you do that, you're in the present, and it's like quietly waiting upon God. And it teaches you how to stand back from what comes up from below. That never has any love in it, and the timing is always wrong. The energy is wrong. The words are wrong, and even if they're technically correct, they don't have love in them. So you learn how to stand back from thoughts. See, now you're lost in your thoughts all the time. And you know that there's no answer down there. Why? Because you dig into your thought, and it's like an endless loop. And you know there's no answer down there. And if there is an answer, it's never right. So you don't want to struggle with it, though. You don't want to get lost down there. You don't want to struggle with it. You don't want to do anything with it other than just stand back and just watch it. Just watch it. It's not credible. It's not believable. And look unto God quietly. Look unto God. No words are necessary. God is like your Heavenly Father, just like a mother. When she hears the cry of her little babe, no words are needed. She knows what the child needs. And God knows what you need. It says in the Bible before you even ask. So yeah, you are asking. Maybe without words, but you're asking. You're inquiring of Him. You don't even know what to inquire. You don't even know what to inquire. You don't know anything. Christ said, of myself I can do nothing. It is the Father within that doth the work. So you have to find your Heavenly Father. And all your problems will be solved. Oh, the meditation. I want to mention it before I run out of time here. The meditation. I have a very nice one at the call-in number, where you can call and leave a voicemail. You call that number. You can also press one of the buttons, and then you will hear the meditation on your phone. You can listen to the meditation and practice it right using your iPhone. The number to call is 510-455-8851. 510-455-8851. And then you can listen to the meditation. Give it a try. It's very nice. Very simple. It's only about 6 minutes long. It'll help you to get out of thoughts, out of emotions that have always misled you, and then find the true guidance, which is from your Creator. The number, once again, 510-455-8851. Now, I'm going to continue the program with one of my best programs. It's also about love. It's one of the best of my radio programs from July 5th of the year 2020. It's a very good program.